Destruction of culture and civilization. Throughout history, as humanity evolved, our desires changed too. Through countless historical events, economic growth has always challenged the destruction of cultures. Is the obliteration of a group of people worth your country's ensured future? Some examples of when this question has been relevant are during the American slave trade. The deforestation of the Amazon rainforest. The destruction of the Native American culture. And all around the world where events like these have happened. During the American slave trade, African families were abducted from their homes to be shipped across the ocean to work for the benefit of rich Americans. Millions of Africans were stripped from their homes, leaving towns and villages empty, destroying the African civilization so Americans could have cheap labor. Though as a result of the suffering of the African people, America's economy took off, and America was forced to become a more diverse and inclusive country over time. This event even happened when America was first being discovered. When the first colonists destroyed the native habitants' civilization so they could use their land. They killed off hundreds of thousands of Native Americans and destroyed their way of life and their homes to make room for the expansion of the American civilization. The settlers and Americans did not care about the natives' lives, culture, or civilization. They murdered and stole just so they can become rich and they could have new land for them to colonize. These events are even happening today in Brazil. The Amazon rainforest is being deforested and having businesses built all over it, all for the benefit of the country of Brazil. The Amazon is home to over 10% of known species in the whole entire world, and is a source of food for a vast population in South America, including the indigenous tribes that still call the rainforest their home. The rainforest is not only important for South America, it is also a vital resource for the entire world. It supplies over 20% of the world's oxygen, and without the Amazon rainforest, global warming would increase, and we would lose an invaluable source of most of the medicine that we use today. Even though Brazil knows how valuable the Amazon is, the Brazilian government still wants to expand into the rainforest. Since 1970, over 20% of the Amazon has been destroyed from deforestation. Yet Brazil keeps cutting trees to help expand the Brazilian economy. It is my belief that in general, as a result of these atrocities and the devastation caused, humankind has learned lessons and become more mindful and intolerant of the suffering of people. Of course, many exceptions can be cited to this observation, but it is my belief that humankind is for the most part trying to do better and be better. The need of the people has sometimes, in the end, had a positive result. Like without the early Americans' atrocious acts of slavery, America would look nothing like it does today, and many cultures may have not been able to live in America today. The need of the people, even through unfortunate means, has always seemed to have a net positive result over a lot of time. Civilizations have always been built on the suffering and hard work of the less fortunate, but in my opinion, it is not worth the pain and suffering that is caused. This cycle of the newer, more technologically advanced generation trying to destroy the settlements of the past to make more room for them has happened since the beginning of humankind and is still continuing to this day. In newly up-and-coming cities, the need of the people can grow to be a big problem. Like the island of Bali, which is having issues with the need for more hotels, because the tourism industry in Bali has recently been booming. But Bali is a small island and only has a limited amount of space to be industrialized, so builders want to tear down the old to bring in the new. The problem is that the old is sacred to the natives, and the natives do not want to see their culture being destroyed to make room for the new houses and to make more money. So many laws were put in place to restrict where developers can build and where they cannot. The people of Bali are one of the few examples of when the protection of culture has defeated the need of the people. Though humankind has continued to have a cycle of the greed of the people destroying the old for their self-advancement, it is cases like Bali that show us that humans have become more enlightened, and this terrible cycle may finally be put to a stop.